She screamed. I would have married your brother if he asked first. So I called off our engagement. I am Fletcher, 31M, insurance adjuster here in Kansas City. Been with my girlfriend Cambria, 28F, for 2 years. Engaged for 6 months. We had our wedding planned for next month. Look, I am not good at this emotional stuff, but I need to get this off my chest because I feel like I am going crazy. It started with a stupid fight about my bachelor party. Dom, my older brother 35M, lives in Denver and was supposed to fly in for it. Nothing wild planned. Just the usual bar crawl with my college buddies and some guys from work. Cambria suddenly got weird about Dom coming. Why does he need to be there? She kept asking. It is not like you two are that close. Which is true, I guess. Dom and I aren't tight like some brothers. He has always been the charming one. Sales manager, divorced twice, lives in this expensive loft downtown Denver. I am more the steady, boring type. But he is still my brother, you know. The fight escalated when she said Dom brings drama everywhere he goes. I defended him because, hell, family's family. That is when she lost it completely. You want to know why I don't want him there? Because I would have married your brother if he had asked me first. I just stood there. Couldn't process what she meant. The words hit me but didn't make sense. Like when someone speaks a foreign language and you catch a few familiar sounds. She immediately started backtracking. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant he is more exciting than you. But I chose you because you are stable and more exciting. How? I finally managed. Fletcher, please. I was just angry. You know how I get when I am upset. I do know how she gets. Cambria says things to hurt people when she is cornered. But this felt different. The way she said Dom's name, the specific phrasing. If he had asked me first. That night, I slept on the couch. Happened the next day. She made my favorite breakfast. Classic Cambria when she knows she screwed up. But I cannot stop thinking about it. When exactly did she meet Dom? I introduced them at Christmas dinner last year. But now I am replaying that whole evening. The way she laughed at his stories. How she kept asking him questions about Denver, about his work. I thought she was just being polite. Or was she? My brain keeps going back to little moments. How she always asks about Dom when I talk to him. How she perked up when I mentioned he might move back to Kansas City for a job opportunity. How she suggested we visit him in Denver for our anniversary trip. Let's see where Dom hangs out, she had said. At the time, I thought she was trying to bond with my family. Now I am wondering if there is more to it. I am probably overthinking this. Cambria's never given me reason not to trust her. She has been nothing but loyal and supportive. But that comment keeps echoing in my head. The certainty in her voice when she said it. My buddy Jake thinks I am being paranoid. Dude, she was just trying to hurt you in the moment. Women say crazy shit when they are mad. Maybe he is right, but something feels off. I keep catching her scrolling through Instagram and quickly switching screens when I walk by. She has been more distracted lately, checking her phone constantly. I don't know what to do. The wedding's next month. How do you even bring this up again without sounding like a psycho? Hey honey, remember when you said you would rather be with my brother? Can we discuss that? I will update if anything else happens. But right now I just need to know I am not losing my mind here. Update 1. Thanks for all the comments telling me I am not crazy. Been reading every reply, and some of you made points that really hit home. Wi-Fi was down all weekend, so I am just now getting back to this. Had plenty of time to think though. I took everyone's advice and started paying attention, really paying attention. And shit. You guys were right to be concerned. First thing I noticed, Cambria still follows Dom on everything. Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn. I never thought about it before, but she checks his stories constantly. I caught her watching the same Instagram story 3 times. When I asked what was so interesting, she said it was just a sunset photo from his balcony. A sunset photo 3 times. Went back through our photo albums from family events. Christmas dinner when they first met. She has positioned herself right next to him in every group shot. My cousin's wedding last spring. There is Dom and Cambria talking by themselves in the background of someone else's photo. I was off getting drinks or something. The timeline's starting to make sense. Now, she suggested that Denver trip in February, right after Dom posted about some new restaurant opening near his place. Coincidence? Maybe. But then I remembered she had been researching Denver restaurants for weeks before even mentioning the trip to me. Here is the kicker though. I found old texts. Back when my phone was acting up in March, Cambria let me use hers to call my insurance client. Saw Dom's name in her recent messages. Just brief stuff, but why are they texting at all? Hope your presentation went well, and saw the Chiefs game. Thought of you guys. Guys. It was just me, watching. She was at her book club. My coworker, Pete's wife, had an interesting take when I mentioned all this. Didn't give details. Just said I was having doubts. She said, "Honey, all women have backup plans, but most of us don't stay in contact with them once we are engaged." That hit different. My sister Amy came by yesterday, and I carefully brought up Cambria and Dom. "I always thought she seemed comfortable with Dom pretty quickly," Amy said, like they had known each other longer than just that Christmas dinner. I didn't tell Amy about the comment Cambria made, "Don't want family drama before I figure this out." But Amy's got good instincts about people. The worst part? I found myself going through Cambria's social media activity, found photos she had liked on Dom's Instagram going back months before I even introduced them. Pictures from his company retreat in October, his hiking trip in September. She was watching his life before she met him. How is that possible unless she already knew about him? Had she been asking me about Dom before Christmas? I cannot remember now. Everything feels contaminated. Cambria's been extra sweet since our fight. Made dinner reservations at that steakhouse I like. Bought me a new golf shirt. Keeps mentioning how excited she is for the honeymoon. But she still gets jumpy when her phone buzzes. Still quickly closes her laptop when I walk into the room. College buddy Mike thinks I am overthinking this. Dude, maybe she looked him up after you mentioned your brother was successful. Women do research on their boyfriends' families. It is normal. But is it normal to be in active communication? To watch Instagram stories multiple times? To position yourself next to someone in family photos? I haven't confronted her yet. Part of me hopes I am wrong, and I am just being paranoid. But another part of me knows I am not. That comment she made wasn't random anger. It was truth slipping out. The wedding's in 2 weeks. I keep looking at the invitation on our refrigerator and feeling sick. 200 people coming. $5,000 in deposits. My parents so proud to finally see their younger son getting married. But what if I am marrying someone who settled for me because her first choice wasn't available? We'll update after I figure out how to handle this mess. Update 2, sorry for the delay. Been dealing with car trouble and work's been crazy since the Henderson file blew up. Figured I should update since some of you have been DMing me asking how things went. Short version. I brought it up. Long version. It went exactly as badly as you would expect. Decided to address this head-on instead of driving myself crazy with speculation. Waited until after a good day. Cambria had been relaxed. We had watched a movie, normal couple stuff. Thought maybe I had been paranoid. "Remember what you said about Dom during our fight?" I asked. Her whole body went stiff. "Fletcher, I told you I didn't mean that. I was just being dramatic." But where did it come from? Why would you even think to say that? That is when she admitted they had been friendly longer than I knew. Turns out she had seen Dom at some work conference in Kansas City back in November, before Christmas dinner. They had talked for like 20 minutes at the hotel bar. She said she didn't want to mention it because it would be awkward and she wanted our family meeting to be natural. 20 minutes at a bar, before she met him for the first time at Christmas. I asked about the texts, the Instagram activity. She got defensive, said I was being controlling. That it is normal to be friendly with your future brother-in-law. Said she was just trying to build family relationships. "So, why did you say you would have married him?" Long pause. Then, because Dom is everything I thought I wanted before I grew up, and realized what actually matters. That should have made me feel better. It didn't. The whole conversation felt off, like she was giving me answers she had practiced, and she never explained why she didn't want him at the bachelor party if they are just friendly. Things got worse at family dinner Sunday. My parents invited Cambria's parents over to discuss final wedding details. 20 people around my mom's dining room table talking centerpieces and seating charts. Dom drove down from Denver, Hadn't seen him since Christmas. Complimented his new haircut. Asked detailed questions about his condo renovation. My dad was talking to Dom about some work stuff, and Cambria just stood there listening with this weird smile. Meanwhile, she barely talked to me all afternoon. I was the guy getting her drinks and helping clear plates. My mom pulled me aside in the kitchen. "Fletcher, is everything okay? You seem tense." I wanted to tell her everything. "But how do you explain that your girlfriend admitted she would have preferred your brother? Day before deposits were due for final catering counts." "I am just nervous about the wedding," I said. Mom patted my shoulder. "Every groom gets cold feet. Don't throw away 2 years over pre-wedding jitters. Cambria's perfect for you, perfect for me. Like I am some consolation prize that worked out okay." Later, Dom cornered me by the garage. "Hey bro, Cambria mentioned you guys had some fight about the bachelor party. I can skip it if that makes things easier. Do you know why she doesn't want you there?" Dom looked genuinely confused. "No idea. I figured she thought bachelor parties were sexist or whatever. Cambria's always been cool with me though. We have good conversations." "Good conversations? About what? When did you two start having good conversations?" "I don't know, man. She is easy to talk to. Asks about my work. Remembers stuff I tell her. She is good for you. Way too smart and put together for someone like me." He laughed when he said it, but something in his tone felt off. Like he had thought about whether Cambria was too good for him. That night, Cambria was quiet on the drive home. Finally asked what was wrong. "Your family loves me," she said. "Your mom keeps talking about grandkids. Your dad said, I am the best thing that ever happened to you. That is good, right?" "Yeah. It is just a lot of pressure." "Pressure to do what?" "Stay with the safe choice." We didn't talk much the rest of the week. Cambria threw herself into final wedding preparations, but something had shifted. She seemed distant, distracted, kept checking her phone and quickly putting it away. Friday night. She said she needed space to think. Went to stay with her sister for the weekend. Said wedding stress was getting to her. While she was gone, I did something stupid. Used the Find My iPhone feature to see where she was. Her sister lives in Overland Park, 30 minutes south. But Saturday afternoon, Cambria's location showed downtown Kansas City. Near Dom's hotel. Dom had extended his trip through the weekend. Said he wanted to explore the city since he might move back. I drove downtown. Saw them walking out of that new brewery on Main Street. Not touching, not holding hands. Just walking and talking. But the way they moved together, the comfortable distance between them, it looked like a date. They didn't see me. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, watching them window shop and duck into cafes, like they had all the time in the world. That is when I knew. Whatever this is between them, it is not just being friendly with future brother-in-law. Called off the engagement Monday morning. Final update, writing this from my new apartment in Tulsa. Took a transfer with my company because staying in Kansas City felt impossible. Calling off the engagement was the hardest thing I have ever done. Cambria cried. My parents were furious. Her family threatened to sue over expenses. Lost about $8,000 in deposits. But my dad eventually covered most of it to keep peace. The conversation with Cambria was brutal. She swore nothing physical happened between her and Dom. Said they were just friends. That I was throwing away our future over paranoia and jealousy. Maybe she was right about the physical part. Doesn't matter though. I love you, she kept saying. I chose you. But that is the problem. I don't want to be chosen because I am safe. I want to be wanted because I am me. Dom was genuinely confused when I called him. Said he had no idea. I was upset about anything. Admitted he and Cambria texted occasionally but insisted it was innocent. She is your girl, Fletcher. I had never crossed that line. Thing is, I believe him. Dom's not malicious, just obliviously selfish. He probably enjoyed having my beautiful girlfriend pay attention to him without thinking about what it meant. Classic Dom. My family's divided. Mom still thinks I made a huge mistake. Brings up Cambria every time we talk. Dad understands better. He said sometimes you have to trust your gut even when you cannot prove anything. My sister Amy admitted she always felt weird about how quickly Cambria warmed up to Dom. Half my friend group thinks I am an idiot. Jake and Mike still say I overreacted, that all couples go through doubts. But Pete and his wife supported the decision. If you are questioning it now, imagine how you would feel in 5 years, Pete said. Cambria's moved on faster than I expected, saw on Instagram. Yeah, I still check sometimes that she is dating someone new. Guy looks like Dom, but with a better job. Good for her, I guess. Work's been a good distraction. Tulsa's office handles bigger cases, more responsibility. Been working on a flood damage claim that is actually pretty interesting. Rented a decent 1-bedroom near downtown. Joined a gym. Started playing pickup basketball again. Some nights I wonder if I made the right choice. Maybe Cambria would have been a good wife despite everything. Maybe those feelings for Dom would have faded. Maybe I threw away something real over something that was mostly in my head. But then, I remember that moment downtown, watching them walk together like they belonged next to each other. The way she lit up around him versus the comfortable but dimmer way she was around me. I didn't want to spend my marriage wondering if I was the consolation prize. Been seeing a therapist here, Dr. Martinez recommended by HR. She says I did the right thing by trusting my instincts. Says settling for someone who settled for you is a recipe for resentment on both sides. Still working on that part. Some days I feel confident about the decision. Other days I feel like I sabotaged the best relationship I have ever had. Dom moved back to Kansas City last month for that job opportunity. Mom mentioned he and Cambria run into each other sometimes at the grocery store or whatever. Says they are always polite, but don't really talk. Wonder how that feels for both of them. Starting to date again. Slowly, went out with a teacher named Juniper last weekend. Nice conversation, easy laugh. Seemed genuinely interested in hearing about my work. No sparks yet, but no red flags either. Different feeling than with Cambria. Less intense, but more peaceful. Like I could be myself instead of trying to be interesting enough to keep her attention. Actually had an interesting conversation with my new neighbor Orion yesterday. Guys about my age, went through a similar situation couple years back. His ex-wife had been friendly with his best friend for months before he caught on. You know what the worst part was? Orion said while we were grilling burgers on his patio. Everyone kept telling me I was imagining things. Even when I had proof, people said I should just ignore it and move on. Like my feelings didn't matter. That hit home. Been getting that same energy from people back in Kansas City. My buddy Jake still texts me occasionally asking if I have come to my senses yet. Even sent me Cambria's engagement announcement last month. Apparently she is getting married to that new guy in December. 6 months after we broke up. Told you she would find someone else quick. Jake texted. You could have worked things out. Blocked his number after that. Don't need that kind of negativity in my life. The therapist says this is normal. People get uncomfortable when you make choices that challenge their worldview. If I was right to leave Cambria, what does that say about all the times they chose to ignore red flags in their own relationships? Been thinking about that a lot lately. How many people stay in situations that feel wrong because it is easier than starting over? How many people convince themselves that good enough is the same as right? Had coffee with Juniper again this week. She asked about my last relationship, so I gave her the sanitized version, said my ex, and I wanted different things. Juniper nodded and shared her own story about an ex who was still hung up on his college girlfriend. It is funny how you can love someone and still know they are not really choosing you, she said. Like you are the safe option while they figure out what they actually want. Exactly. That is exactly what it felt like with Cambria. Work's been good though. My supervisor mentioned a promotion opportunity in the Oklahoma City office. More money, better cases. Chance to really build something here. Thinking about applying. Kansas City feels like a closed chapter now. Mom called last week with family news. Dom's dating someone new too, woman he met through work. Mom seemed relieved, like maybe it would finally put the whole situation to rest. You boys can both move on now, she said. Maybe next Thanksgiving will not be so awkward. Hadn't even thought about Thanksgiving yet. 6 months away and already dreading it. But you know what? I am not the same guy who sat in that car outside the brewery watching my girlfriend with my brother. I am learning to trust my instincts instead of second-guessing every uncomfortable feeling. Learning that sometimes the hardest choice is the right choice. Even when nobody else understands it, thanks to everyone who supported me through this mess. Especially those who helped me realize that sometimes the thing that feels wrong probably is wrong, even when you cannot prove it. Still don't know if I made the right choice, but I know I made the honest choice. I'd for that promotion after all.